What's up, guys? Got a week 7 recap for y'all today. But before we get into it, I just wanted to thank y'all for all the support that y'all have given me for the past couple weeks. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to show your support. Let's get into it. The first game we got this week is a crazy game between Stanford and Colorado. Stanford ended up winning the game 46-43 in a huge comeback victory. Colorado went up 29-0 in the first half, and honestly, I stopped watching it after the first half. I thought it was going to be a Colorado blowout. But then I turned it on late in the fourth quarter, and Stanford was making it a game. Stanford ended up outscoring Colorado after the first half 46-14 and made an amazing comeback that was one of the best comebacks I've watched in a while. Overall, this game was not a good look for Deion and Shedeur Sanders. Even though Shedeur played a good first half, he did not play very good in the second half. In the second half, it was just punt after punt after punt, and he really couldn't get anything going. He did have 2 scoring drives, one in the second half and one in the first overtime period, but overall, he did not play a very good game. And him posting an advertisement for his merchandise at halftime of the game and them end up giving the biggest comeback in their school history, it's just not a good look for Shedeur. Even though I do believe it wasn't him that posted it, it was probably someone on his social media team. Still not a very good look for Shedeur, and he needs to clean that up if Colorado wants any chance of making a bowl game. And for Deion, I don't think it was all his fault that the team gave up this victory, but whenever your team gets outscored 46-14 in the second half and overtime of the game, you can't not look at the coach for this. Even though this is his first year in the FBS and he will improve for years to come, he's got to clean this up if Colorado wants any chance of making a bowl game. In this recap, I'm not going to dog on Travis Hunter too much because this is his first game back from a major injury. He did end up playing good on the offensive side of the ball, scoring 2 touchdowns and having over 100 receiving yards. But on the defensive side of the ball, he gave up a lot of big plays. Even though he played most snaps on both sides of the ball, he's got to be better. Like I said, he's coming off an injury, so I'm not going to dog on him too much, but he's got to be better. The main storyline of this game is that Alec Iomanner had a tremendous game and probably one of the performances of the year for a receiver. He had a tremendous catch in the first overtime period on Travis Hunter's head that continued the game for the Cardinals and led to them winning the game. My player of the game is Alec Iomanner. He had 3 touchdowns and 294 receiving yards in this game that led to the Cardinals winning. The next game we got, and my game of the week, is between Washington and Oregon. Washington ended up winning this game 36-33. And this game had a QB battle for the ages between Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Both players combined for 639 total passing yards and 6 touchdowns. Even though Oregon lost this game, I think they played well enough to win, but they missed 3 fourth down conversions, 2 being in the red zone, and missed a game-winning field goal that killed their chances to win. Even though Washington won this game, I think these 2 teams will meet in the Pac-12 championship game, and I like Oregon's chances in this game. Because this game was at Washington, I think Washington had a big advantage, and I think Oregon gets it done next time they meet. My player of the game is Michael Penix Jr. He had 302 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Just a quick side note from the Bama-Arkansas game, I think Jalen Milroe took a huge step back this week, and it looked like Alabama was scared to throw the ball in the second half. He had a great first half throwing the football, but in the second half, he had a horrendous throwing performance, and I think it showed that he threw under 40 yards in the second half, which is just unacceptable, and Alabama needs to shore this up if they want to go anywhere in the SEC. The next game we got this week is UNC Miami. UNC ended up winning this game 41-31, and the main story of this game is Tez Walker and his receiving hat trick. To go through what that guy has went through and all the transfer portal violations that he committed and put in the hard work and have a game like this, it's just awesome to see. And congratulations to Tez Walker. In this game, UNC's offense looked like one of the best. UNC's offense looked like one of the most balanced offense in the NCAA. They had over 200 rushing yards and 273 passing yards, and I think their offense is comparable to a Washington and an Oregon, and I can't wait to see what they do for the rest of the year. I think after watching this game, it's already a foregone conclusion that FSU and UNC will meet in the ACC championship game, and I do have FSU winning this game if it were to happen because I have FSU in my playoff picture, but it would be a great game to watch. My player of the game is Tez Walker with 132 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, and it was great to see with all that he's been through. Another quick side note, let's talk about USC. They played a cupcake schedule up to this point, and they get destroyed by the first good team that they've played. Now, believe it or not, this game isn't on their defense. They had 5 total turnovers, which Caleb Williams accounted for 3 of them. which is inexcusable, and it can't happen from a Heisman winner. The next game we got this week is Tennessee versus Texas A&M. Tennessee won this game 20-13, and this game hit close to home for me because I go to school here, and this was a very ugly game to watch. Both teams committed a lot of penalties and combined for over 205 penalty yards. The thing I took away from this game is that it's time to fire Jimbo. He just can't get it done in the big games, especially away games where he hasn't beaten a ranked team in over 2 years. I think it's time, and I've thought it for a while. Even last year, I thought they should fire him. I've just never been a big fan of Jimbo Fisher. I think his offensive scheme is way out of date, and I also think Petrino's is as well. It barely worked at Florida State, where he had generational talent after generational talent, and it's not working at A&M. I think it's time for him to get going. Even though Tennessee won this game, they didn't look very good against the A&M team, which doesn't have the identity right now, but it's a win at home, so you'll take it if you're a Tennessee fan. My player of the game is Jalen Wright. He had 136 rushing yards and a lot of runs that sustained drives for Tennessee at the end of the game, which helped them win. The next game we got this week is Missouri versus Kentucky. Missouri won this game 38-21, and this is a huge bounce back victory for Missouri because last week they lost to LSU in a game where they pretty much should have won, and they got a huge away game win over Kentucky. While watching this game, I determined that Missouri is the most fun team to watch this year in college football. So if you're looking to watch a fun game, watch the Missouri Tigers. My player of the game is, believe it or not, Missouri's special teams. They had a fake punt touchdown and 3 field goals, which helped them get the victory over Kentucky. The next game we got is Oregon State versus UCLA. Oregon State won this game 36-24. And if you're a UCLA fan, I wouldn't worry too much about this loss. Dante Moore had 3 picks, but he's a true freshman, and he's gonna learn from this, and he's gonna get better, and watch out for him in year 2. During this game, DJ Uiagalelei continues to prove his haters wrong, getting another win over a ranked team in a stacked Pac-12 conference. My player of the game is Oregon State's defense. They had 5 sacks, 3 picks, and 1 touchdown, and it helped them get the win over the Bruins. Now to end this week's recap, I'm gonna have a quick lightning round to hit a couple of the games that I wanna talk about. The first game is Colorado State versus Boise. Colorado State won this game 31-30, and it was one of the best comebacks I've seen in a while. Colorado State scored 21 points in the last 4 minutes of the game and won the game off a crazy Hail Mary. The next game is the Louisville-Pitt game. After all the love Louisville got for a win over Notre Dame last week, they lose to one of the worst teams in the ACC in Pitt, and it's not a good look for the Louisville Cardinals. After a promising game against Georgia 2 weeks ago, Auburn gets blown out 48-18 versus LSU and loses all the momentum that they've had from that game. Also during this game, Jaden Daniels continues to play out of his mind with over 418 total yards and 3 touchdowns, and I think him and Penix are the Heisman leaders to this point. That's it for this week's recap. I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week.